Welcome everyone to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ, Aaron Rift. We have Bound for Glory coming up. We have another WWE pay-per-view coming up, Vengeance. We have the cat looking around for ghosts and spirits in the room. It's all fun and games, but right now we got your questions, so let's get right down to them. Do you like Booker T's commentary? I think his commentary reminds me of that one No DQ CAW episode where Bart and Milhouse strung your random catchphrases together into an incoherent mess. Well, first of all, I have not forgiven Bart and Milhouse for doing that. That was very disrespectful, and it was just an embarrassment. So, screw them. But as far as your question goes, I like Booker T a lot. His commentary is bad, but it's comically bad. It's entertaining, and that's what counts at the end of the day. As long as he's not carrying the announcing, I think it's fine. As long as you have a Jim Ross there to do the main announcing and have Booker T kind of be the comic relief or whatever, I think that's fine. And that's what I'm talking about, dog. How big do you think CM Punk has the potential to become? Could he possibly reach the level of Cena and Orton? Well, I think this past summer CM Punk broke the barrier and got to that next level. He went from being a guy that I think fans saw as a mid to upper card guy to a legit main eventer. Now, it all depends on where things go from here. Will WWE continue to push CM Punk as a top guy? Right now, I think he's definitely the number 3 babyface in the company behind John Cena and Randy Orton. And as I've said in many videos before, I think his best years are ahead of him. So I see CM Punk as being a top guy in WWE for years to come. What up, Aaron? Did you like CM Punk's first theme? I think it fitted him much better than his new one. I liked his old theme a lot, but I do think his new theme is better. I think his new theme, it makes him seem like a big deal. When he comes out to that song, it's a popular song, and the people, when they hear that song, it's like when the Sandman came out to Enter Sandman, or you use some big name song. It really makes your guy look like a bigger deal. And part of the problem is some of these rock songs these days are so generic that WWE uses, and it just doesn't help the guy that much. But I think this new song, it really fits CM Punk well. He's the cult of personality. I think it's really good. Really good choice for him. Do you think the U.S. title is losing its appeal? It rarely gets defended anymore, and you never see anyone going after it like the IC title. Well, when was the last time the U.S. title had any kind of real appeal? I mean, both the U.S. title and the IC title have kind of just been there for the past decade or so. They haven't really meant much, either one of them. So I think the U.S. title lost the last. I'm not sure it really ever had much of an appeal during its time in WWE, period. I think it lost its appeal in the late 90s when WCW started going downhill. I think the last time the U.S. title really, was a big deal was when Goldberg had it, to be honest with you. What are your thoughts on the Rock and Wrestling era? The Rock and Wrestling era is the reason that a lot of us are here on YouTube watching this video, why I'm doing this, why I became a fan, why a lot of people became fans. It changed the industry. It took it from something that was taken very seriously as a sport and made it more of a mainstream, streamlined entertainment company and a product. So I think that was a very important era in the wrestling business, and it changed the whole game. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on Hulk Hogan's heel promo and the subsequent run with the NWO? Well, if that whole Hogan thing could be in 1996, that could be considered like having the same kind of significance that the Rock and Wrestling era had in the mid-'80s. Hulk Hogan's heel run, once again, just like the Rock and Wrestling, it changed the industry. The NWO, it was up to that point, I think it was the biggest thing that happened in wrestling, and it caused WWE to change their game, and it just made everybody act differently, and suddenly the superhero good guy wasn't cool anymore. It was all about the rebel badass, and that's how, just the culture changed, and then the wrestling culture changed. Do you think Wade Barrett is going to get a title push anytime soon? Oh boy, maybe. I mean, right now, it doesn't seem like it. There's so many guys on SmackDown right now. coming from Raw and back and forth, and Wade Barrett's one of those guys that's somewhat getting lost in the shuffle. I mean, he did have a speaking role on Raw this past week with Triple H, so he's still on WWE's radar as a guy they want to protect and make him a focal point of the TV show. So I think maybe down the line he will get another shot. I think that Wade Barrett's got a lot to offer, and he's got a lot of potential. So perhaps in a year or so, maybe he'll get into another world title picture. We'll see what happens. Do you watch TNA to see how much of a car crash product it becomes week by week? Yes. And do you know what happened to Abyss? We haven't seen him since early August. Maybe Abyss was kidnapped by the same people that kidnapped Samoa Joe. I have no idea. Your thoughts on Bob Holly? I never thought Bob Holly was that great in the ring or that great of a promo. He was just a guy to me, but one thing I admire is he really seems like a legitimate tough guy and a hard worker, not necessarily like a good worker, but a guy who would go in there and always give his best effort and be really passionate about his job. That's the kind of vibe I get from him. And I always remember that one ECW match when his back got just completely ripped, torn open from the table, and he was just bleeding all over the place. And I mean, that guy has to be effing tough to keep going after that. I really thought that was... I gained a lot of respect for him after seeing that, definitely. Do you think WWE rushed to unify the WWE title and the WCW title in December 2001? I think they rushed a lot of things that year, and that was just one of many. So, yeah, they could have spread that out over several months, but, you know, they'd ended the Invasion storyline, so they just wanted to have one title, and of course, they ended up going with the brand extension and splitting the titles again, so whatever. Do you think WWE should rehire Mickie James if TNA ever lets her go? Should they? Maybe. Probably. Will they? I doubt it. There's plenty of women out there that WWE can hire. Plenty of models they can look up, and they can open up just some kind of Victoria's Secret magazine and say, oh, let's hire them, and let's try to train them to become wrestlers. So WWE is always going to look for young women to bring in. Mickie James is getting up there. I'd be surprised if they brought her back. If Brock Lesnar loses his next UFC fight, do you think he'll quit and come back to WWE? I think he's going to be with UFC for the time being, at least another couple of years. If he loses his next fight, he'll stick around. But if he comes back to WWE, it's not going to be for a while. Definitely not anytime soon. And as long as he's under a UFC deal, it's not going to happen. That's just the way it is. All right, that about does it for NoDQ&A video. You can submit a comment, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Please subscribe. Please spread the word. And my question to you guys today is, what's your favorite Booker T catchphrase? Is it the, what the hell? Or any of those? Let me know what you think. And we'll see you next time for NoDQ&A video.